Hello everyone, and I'm actually just thought I would do this, and that is throughout the summer I will be making my review of each movie in the Dark Knight trilogy, made and directed by Christopher Nolan, each of them. And also to let you guys know is that I will be crapping out a fair bit of videos this week. I'm actually going to upload 4 videos in the next 5 or 6 days. So be on the lookout for that. But nonetheless, let's start this video off with the movie that started it all, from the dreaded Batman and Robin into the really unique and exciting Batman Begins. Now, straight off the bat, I really enjoy this film. I think it's a really good movie, and I think it's a fairly good watch. And before I say bad things in this movie, which I do think is there's a fair bit of bad things in this movie, but I will tell you all the good things. Now, first thing I really do love in this movie, what I love, is the first hour. I thought the first hour in this movie was exceptional. Now, being a big fan of the '89 Batman myself, is that and being a lot of comics, is that one thing which for me was one of my favorite aspects of Batman, for me at least, was the fact that you see very little of his history. All we know is that his parents died. And for me, it's that simplicity and the cleverness of very little is actually having much more of a bigger effect on the character of Batman, which for me always gave me the idea of basically how less is usually more, and gives you a bit more of an intimate feel for the movie. And I thought it was really well done. And seeing this movie, I thought, because I didn't see it in theaters, that this one came out 10 years ago, is that I thought, seeing the origin story, seeing all this stuff kind of explored, I would be kind of worried, because I think that dark mystery of his past really defines a big part of his character. But in this movie, I would truly say it's done well, and I think that gives him a bit more, it shows him a bit more motivation and reason why he has these fears and why he has these problems that you see within the movie. And the story essentially is, Bruce Wayne as a kid, he falls in a well, this far along, and essentially he has a broken arm, and from there, that is where he gets his fear of bats. And then one day when they go to Opera House, he gets a lot of nightmares from the imagery of bats within that play, and he asks his parents to leave. And unfortunately, his parents get gunned down at gunpoint, and Commissioner Gordon kind of makes him feel better, and basically he grows up being trained under Ra's al Ghul and other certain characters in the movie. And basically he's trying to basically get rid of the bad that's happening in Gotham, and just trying to revamp it all and make it seem like a much better, cleaner, and more polished place for it to really look nice. And here's what I'll say about this movie. First thing I love is the first hour. I thought the first hour for me was incredible. I loved seeing all the certain reasons why he has the fears, all this type of stuff is happening, and I think that's so cleverly handled, and I love that angle, and I thought it was incredibly well done, in my opinion. And at this point, you may be asking me, Jack, who do I prefer, Michael Keaton or Christian Bale? Well, if you ask me that, I'm gonna say I am also gonna say Michael Keaton, because while I do really enjoy, I do really enjoy Christian Bale's performance, and he does add a certain amount of depth and flair to him, I don't think he really catches the subtlety and the inner tragedy that Batman truly is, or Bruce Wayne who really is. He isn't this maniacal type of money type of playboy, funny type of guy that he was playing in these movies. I think of this really smart, clever, brooding, smart, really clever man who knows how to use the environment and darkness into his own advantage. And I was kind of, well, it's not a terrible performance. I do think And I do think he actually does a good performance. For me, it's kind of not that. It's not that engrossing. That's my problem with Christian Bale as a whole. Is that it's hard to really buy him in any role. As dedicated as an actor he may be, because he adds a lot of dedication in this movie. He gained 40 pounds of muscle for this role, and it's really impressive to say the least. And I really enjoyed that. He's in incredibly good shape, and he really knows to fit the more modern physique of Batman. And I think that they've done it really well. And also, a bunch of the actors in this movie do a great job in this movie. Of course, Christian Bale, even though I'm not the biggest fan of him, I do really enjoy him as Batman. You also have Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow, and I do really like him. You also have Ken Watanabe as Ra's al Ghul. You also have Katie Holmes as Rachel Dawes, and Henry. Oh my God! And you also have Liam Neeson as Henry Ducard, and you also have Morgan Freeman. You also have Morgan Freeman in this movie. You have Morgan Freeman played by Lucius. You also have Lucius Fox in this movie played by Morgan Freeman. You have Carmine Falcone played by Tom Wilkinson. You have Alfred J. Pennyworth played by the brilliant Michael Caine, and of course you have James Gordon played by the incredible Gary Oldman. And I think this is a big cast. In my opinion, they all really do seem to fit. Well, Katie Holmes is an odd choice. She does play it to an intimate level that I do really enjoy watching. And for me, as a whole, I think it really does work with this cast being so clever, and all of them, to their own extent, being kind of British, which I really enjoy. I loved, and that's not all the things I really enjoy about this movie. I really do. I thought I wouldn't enjoy seeing the origin of Batman, but I really believed it. I thought it was good, and overall, I really enjoyed it fine. Now let's get into what I don't like. After the hour point, or the hour and 20 minutes point, because this movie's like 2 hours and like 10, 20 minutes, I believe. 10, 20 minutes, 2 hours, is it kind of 30, 40 minutes? 2 hours and 21 minutes, that's it. And, it's like after the hour and 20 minute point, it seems like it just kind of falls into that generic type of superhero film that we've seen before. You know, Spider-Man 2, Superman 2, The Crow. We've seen this type of ending, type of route that we've seen before, and I do think it's played to an extensive degree of it being kind of grating. Even though we do know it's trying to be resourceful through the comics, it just feels kind of grating and tacked on of how the ending kind of feels like it too much like a comic book, in my opinion. And the other thing I don't enjoy is, well, I do really enjoy Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow. The way he's taken down really sucks, and I think Batman should have faced him down to see how he could have taken him down instead of having Rachel Dawes taking him down. And by the way, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, that if you watch this movie, and if you're a Game of Thrones fan, the kid that Katie Holmes is holding near the end, that kid, he plays King Joffrey in Game of Thrones. Now there's an interesting fact. Search it up. It's true. I'll guarantee you. And here's my biggest problem with this movie. The action. Now, there's some points in the beginning where I think the action was fine, okay. However, the final scenes with Batman fighting the soldiers in Arkham jail cells in the end of this movie are edited to shit. They are really terrible, and I'm sorry, but they are absolutely horrendous. I showed this movie to my parents, and they don't know crap about how to make films, but they said to me, my God, the action was bad. Like, it was truly bad. And the quick cutting and editing and pasting felt so rushed that I felt no real sense of thrill. No real sense of thrill or excitement. And this took away all the suspense of what was going on in that moment. It, for me, really kept me invested, and it just completely sucked me out. I'm sorry, for me, that really just kills the film, in my opinion. But by the end, I do really enjoy this film for what it is, for its own sake. It's actually a very fun type of, if you have a bunch of friends over and you don't want a superhero film that's not that challenging, then I would suggest putting this on, or this, or the Avengers. And then you can easily put the Avengers on, because it's super fun. But it's a really fun watch for its own sake, and I think, in my opinion, the good things of this movie are just too good to really surpass them. I love the first story. I love the first hour. It's incredibly investing. All the actors do the part well. I think the way it moves at times, while it could be a bit cliched, it does feel very, very nice. And by the end, you kind of do feel this great satisfaction of how well it does feel, in my opinion. And it just kind of feels very, very nice as a whole for a film to really be going and progressing in this type of note. But in the end, this film, in my opinion, definitely does have its problems, like the last hour being kind of redundant. The way Scarecrow was taken down was a bit sad, in my opinion, and the action in the last 30 minutes is beyond awful. In my opinion, overall, I would say it's a fairly good comic book movie, and I'm definitely going to give Batman Begins, in my opinion, a 75%. Well, everyone, I really hope you enjoyed my review of Batman Begins. I really hope you enjoyed it. And as always, everyone, please stick around to see more when I will be uploading much more videos up during this week. Till then, I'm out.